Real quickly, you got one other thing on the cultural context about how the convergence of this movement. What is that?
Well, this is an interesting article that was published in Britain's Guardian newspaper, which for American audience is basically the UK's equivalent of the New York Times. So that's to say, it's not a right-wing organ by any stretch of the imagination. And it printed an article on the cultural origins of the demographic transition in France. It's an academic paper by a student who won an award, actually, studying at Brown University. And he's basically saying, why did France suffer crisis 100 years before the rest of Europe? And he draws a direct correlation between the fertility crisis and secularization of France, militant secularization of France. And he goes parish by parish and identifies how, where priests in pre-revolutionary France remained faithful to the Catholic Church, fertility was higher there. Instead, when priests started accommodating with the revolutionaries, fertility drops. As an explicit sign here, if we're taking notes here, we should be extremely aware of this, an explicit sign that when you militantly secularize your people, you will have a consequent effect on its fertility rate.
Yes.
Now, you said, Steve, on Friday, you made a point that the fight for the Judeo-Christian West is going to hinge around fertility. Worth bearing in mind that in the European Union, not a single one of the 26 member states has a fertility rate at replacement level. The best that we have, I think, which is Hungary, where there is a broad parity between new births and deaths. But Europe has an absolute demographic crisis facing it.
Also, Macron and Merkel don't have kids, right? It's the leadership. Hey, if you want to save the Judeo-Christian West, if you want to save civilization, start by having babies. Simple. Let's start there, right? We'll train them up. We'll get it done, but let's start with having babies. Ben,